What are the chances that you'll make $1 million this year? 0%. Maybe 1%. Someone might say 5%. Now I'll ask you a question. What are the chances that you'll make $1 million this year, legally, but if you don't, everyone you love will die? 100%. 1000%. What changed? The goal hasn't changed, the time frame hasn't changed. The reason changed. Could you wake up in the morning knowing that the lives of your loved ones depend on you, and think, maybe I'll just scroll through my feed for a bit? Of course not, you'd start acting immediately. You shouldn't be afraid that such a thing could happen, but you should ask yourself, why? Do you know why people think that making $1 million is hard? Because they go to school. And school is the worst place you can send your children. The whole idea that school is great, that children must stay in school, this is propaganda. And here's why. Do you know who founded and financed the General Education Board? John Rockefeller. Do you know what he said? He wanted everyone to be employees. He said, I'm not in the business of creating a nation of thinkers, I'm in the business of creating a nation of workers. Everything you're taught in school, absolutely everything, is about how to think. But not like an entrepreneur, like an employee. School programs you to think like a poor person. Because if everyone were rich, the economy would collapse. We don't need too many rich people. So what do? We send children to brainwashing camps where they're taught how to be employees. Then they go out into the real world and continue thinking like employees. They stay employees. They don't become entrepreneurs. They don't become rich. How do you think it is that in school, you have to raise your hand to go to the bathroom? What's that nonsense? I need to go to the bathroom, and I have to raise my damn hand to get permission. Think about it. The school system doesn't want you to learn about economics, it turns you into people who can be managed like good employees. The school system is the opposite of what's needed for success in real life. Don't make mistakes, do as you're told, take tests alone, don't cooperate, do this, and most importantly, there's only one right answer. No. There are many ways to solve a problem. So you leave school, terrified of making a mistake. You do everything yourself, you don't cooperate, there's no synergy, no productive thoughts, and there's only one right answer. People leave school traumatized. The school system is guilty of killing the childlike spirit of learning. They've been desensitizing you since the day you were born. And I'll give you some examples. Let's start with words you hear all the time and never even think about. Let's start with the word entertainment. What does it mean? To hold. To hold the audience's attention. Now let's take the word Hollywood. Where does it come from? It comes from the holly tree. And ancient druids would take holly and make sticks for casting spells. And when they needed help, they consulted with magicians to direct their spells at the population. Now, let's come back to today. What do you have in your homes? You have these black boxes. Televisions. If you stop and say the word television, when you turn on that TV, what's the first thing you get? A list of channels. And when you turn on these channels, what's on them? Programs. They program you. They've been programming you your whole life. You don't even know what they're doing with your music, your movies, your games. One of the greatest deceptions of the 21st century is breakfast. Once, people ate as they wished, without strict rules, without schedules. But then, marketers got involved. In 1894, Dr. John Kellogg invented cornflakes and promoted the idea of a light breakfast. But no one was buying them because breakfast wasn't considered essential. In the 1920s, marketers came up with a genius move. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You won't be productive without breakfast. Children need breakfast to do well in school. People began to believe that breakfast was a necessity. In the 1940s, cereal manufacturers sponsored studies that proved you were weaker and dumber without breakfast. In the 1950s, the sugar industry got involved. They realized that if children got used to eating sweet cereals in the morning, they would continue doing it for life. Thus, sugary breakfasts, muesli, and granola were born. All of this was packaged as healthy food, but in reality, they were sugar bombs. But the myth works, and breakfast remains a multi-billion-dollar industry. Is there meat to get enough protein? First of all protein is produced by plants. I repeat this again so you remember, all protein is initially synthesized by plants. All types of protein. There is no need to consume animal tissue to obtain it. Only plants are capable of taking nitrogen from the air, breaking it down into molecules, and forming amino acids that make up proteins. The protein you get by eating meat has already been processed by animals. You can easily get the necessary amount of protein from plant-based food, such as brown rice and broccoli. The key is to consume enough calories. In 2,000 calories of brown rice and broccoli, there are 80 grams of protein, including all essential amino acids necessary for proper body function. All grains are rich in protein. Legumes are rich in protein. Vegetables are rich in protein. It is preferable to get all your protein from plants, because plant-based protein has very beneficial effects on physiology. The most amusing thing is that most Americans consume twice as much protein as they need, while with fiber, it's the opposite. But no one seems to care, all the talk is about protein. This looks like a magical protein advertisement that has been going on for decades. The question is not where to get protein, but where to get enough fiber. The most sophisticated lie of the 21st century that has been sold to you. It doesn't just harm your brain and health, it systematically destroys your potential, masquerading as a normal part of life. What alcohol does to you is confirmed by modern science. Alcohol causes more cumulative harm than any other substance. Even more than methamphetamine and heroin. Alcohol causes over 3 million deaths annually. This accounts for 5.3% of all deaths worldwide. But since it's legal, available on every corner, and deeply embedded in culture, no one asks uncomfortable questions. The paradox of modern times, it's the only drug whose refusal causes confusion and social pressure from those around you. How does alcohol hack your brain in 15 minutes? As soon as you take a sip, alcohol immediately enters your bloodstream. In 15 minutes, it crosses the blood-brain barrier, the brain's protective mechanism, and triggers an artificial dopamine release. This is what you call relaxation. And here's the main trap. Once the effect wears off, dopamine levels drop below baseline. Your brain literally becomes neurochemically poorer. As a result, you feel worse than before consumption, and your body instinctively craves more alcohol to get back to normal. Thus begins the vicious cycle, which neurologists call hedge dependency. Alcohol is a neurotoxin, not just a drink. Your body treats alcohol as toxic waste and goes into emergency mode to get rid of it. It breaks down into acetaldehyde, a chemical compound that is 30 times more toxic than alcohol itself. This metabolite destroys DNA repair, accelerates cellular aging, and creates oxidative stress at the cellular level. Even 1 to 2 glasses of wine at dinner trigger a cascade of destructive processes that intensify with each harmless glass. And contrary to all the myths about safe doses, research from 2023 proves that there is no safe amount of alcohol, in principle. Furthermore, even after you stop drinking, alcohol continues to circulate in your body.
So, I can change your energy about no in 1 minute. Imagine if I told you right now that you are only 24 no's away from $1 billion company. How quickly would you want to hear your first rejection and be happy about it? Undoubtedly. And how fast would you want to hear your second no? So, I want to tell you that there are not that many no's between you and what you want. If you step beyond fear, you'll see that there are no other emotions left inside you. It's the only thing you need to overcome. If there is no fear inside, you simply sit, and that will be the most blissful place because, after some time, there will be nothing left in your mind. Just a little time. Once you overcome the stupidity of fear. Because fear is the torment of yourself, before anything happens to you. It's practicing being in hell. Unfortunately, many religious movements on the planet have survived because of this one emotion. Guilt is also a way of creating fear. Fear comes from an excess of imagination. Nothing has happened yet, but you've already created everything. To stop feeling fear, you don't need to do anything. What's going on in your mind can happen in thousands of different ways. Most likely, it will never happen. Think of 100 of your fears, and most likely 99 of them have never come true, right? So you're afraid of something that doesn't exist. You can't fight what doesn't exist. You can only fight what truly exists. You can't overcome what's not there. Enjoy the fear. After all, it's your creation. You say you don't like it, but you're the one creating it. Only it doesn't make you money, that's all. If you're afraid of something, it means you're creating a horror movie in your head, and no one but you wants to watch it. Intuition is not about feeling, but the ability to pick up on the slightest signals that the average person doesn't even realize. Sometimes, a person can instantly determine the mood, hidden intentions, and even lies, because their brain picks up on micro-expressions, tone of voice, body position, and reaction speed. Intuition is based on millions of years of evolution. People who couldn't predict the behavior of others didn't survive, so they developed this skill. They sense when someone is dangerous, lying, or plotting something, before the person even does it. Many people are shocked when they are exposed out of the blue. How did you know? But it's not magic. It's just that the brain gathered the picture faster than theirs. Intuition wins because it doesn't fight logic. It bypasses it. While one person thinks, but the facts say one thing, another has already felt the situation and made a conclusion. That's why, in everyday, social, and personal games, people with developed intuition are always one step ahead. So, my advice to you is to develop your intuition.
Let me explain to you, using animals as an example, what war is and why we fight. Monkeys that are captured from the wild and brought to the zoo are fully aware that the zookeepers and staff are enemies who simply want to exploit them for their own selfish purposes. Monkeys in the neighboring zoo, behind the fence, are relatives who find themselves in exactly the same situation. They are their own kind, while everyone working at the zoo is an outsider. Given the chance, these monkeys would escape. But the next generation born in the zoo will only hear about this from their parents. In reality, they will see the zookeepers cleaning their cages, feeding them, taking care of them, all on the orders of the owner. And so, things aren't as clear-cut as they seemed. Plus, they don't even know where to run. After another generation, the hatred for the zoo will disappear. Now the zoo becomes their home, and the wild nature is an illusion, just talk. The owner is no longer an exploiter, but a leader, a chief. Without him, they would not survive. His personality is cultivated, and the other staff members gain respect because they act for the benefit and safety of the monkeys. And if the business interests of the owners of the two neighboring zoos require them to divide power and territory, the monkeys will happily go to war against their own kind. Because now, the other monkeys are outsiders. Their own are only those on this side of the fence. Control always works in the same way for any issue. There is a truth known only to the initiated. And there is a lie. To prevent the people or the crowd from reaching this truth, the lie is always split into two lies. And this is where the people are placed. Everything I'm saying has absolutely nothing to do with global conspiracy theories or world governments. This has been created too, to draw people who start to understand something into another deception, another lie. But not to give them the truth.
Most people do nothing but complain about what they don't like. By doing so, they only strengthen these things. They give them energy. It's better to focus on what we want to achieve, rather than what we want to avoid. But that doesn't mean lying when you're feeling bad. For example, if you're sick, and someone asks if you're sick, don't say no. You should say, I feel better with every minute. You need to understand that, in order for something to change, you must first change yourself. And to make things better, you need to become better. No one will work for you, no one will start your business for you, and no one will achieve your dreams for you. Only you have the power to change your situation. Change isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. You can become whoever you want as long as your mind is free and not occupied with the ideas of your parents, the government, society, or the ideas of advertising, propaganda, or something similar. A free spirit. All the institutions and systems that exist in our world today are not designed to make you bigger. They are designed to keep you small. They are not made for you. They don't want you to think freely, because free thinking can lead you to realize the immense potential within you.
The greatest deception lies in the fact that it's not you reacting to events happening in the world or in your life. In reality, it's the mind that reacts, specifically one part of it that has taken control of your physical body. This part is the ego, the false I am, the personality that was given a name. It is the ego that reacts negatively to events. The reactions to events, emotions, feelings are not yours. The one you are used to feeling and identifying as, the one whose name is on your passport, and whose reflection you see in the mirror, is actually not you. You are not the one who feels, perceives the world, or experiences emotions and thoughts. The thoughts, emotions, feelings, and memories are not yours. The mind has lulled you to sleep. The mind has taken control of your physical body. It is the mind that feels, experiences emotions, and lives the life. It is not you who touches objects, who feels the taste of food, the breeze, the warmth of the sun, who remembers the past, who thinks about the future, who worries and fears death, or who watches movies. It is all the mind doing that, having replaced you and taken over the control of your body. It is hard to believe because the one listening to this information right now is not you, but the mind that is defending itself so you cannot wake up and take control over your body and the world. The mind will ridicule this information and create thoughts to make you think it's the ramblings of a madman or fantasy. The mind is afraid of you, and it will continue to strengthen the system to prevent you from realizing yourself. And remember, death is not an escape. The wheel of samsara was also created by the mind to make you keep returning and enacting the scenarios of the mind. Thus, the mind will continue its existence, its limited life. What you've heard here is just the tip of the iceberg.
Listen, my friend, there is nothing in this world that you can defeat, challenge, or surpass, except your own mind. Here live all your neighbors, here live your enemies and your friends, your gods and demons, and you yourself are imaginary. Don't be the traffic police in your mind. Let everything spin. Just remain detached, as if you're observing. The witness is never involved in what's happening, because the moment you participate in what's going on, you become part of it. The witness must stand aside. Just keep observing. At first, the flow of your thoughts, they are all regular. These are your family, friends, relationships, work, money, your things, the weather. Over time, you'll notice that the claustrophobia of all this worldly internal and external noise will start to dissipate, and you will feel peace. No one needs to tell you this is the highest feeling. Neither your guru, nor your minister, nor anyone will say it. Only within yourself will you feel the presence of God in you.